For the mind that has gained skill in concentration, self-inquiry becomes comparatively easy. It is by ceaseless inquiry that the thoughts are destroyed and the self realized. The plenary reality in which there is not even the I thought, the experience which is referred to as silence. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Who am I? Nanyar. As all living beings desire to be happy always, without misery, as in the case of everyone, there is observed supreme love for oneself, and as happiness alone is the cause for love, in order to gain that happiness, which is one's nature, and which is experienced in the state of deep sleep, where there is no mind, one should know oneself. For that, the path of knowledge, the inquiry of the form, who am I, is the principal means. Who am I? The gross body, which is composed of the 7 humors, dhatus, I am not. The 5 cognitive sense organs, the sense of hearing, touch, sight, taste and smell, which apprehend their respective objects, sound, touch, color, taste and odor, I am not. The 5 cognitive sense organs, the organs of speech, locomotion, grasping, excretion, and procreation, which have as their respective functions speaking, moving, grasping, excreting, and enjoying, I am not. The 5 vital airs, prana, vyana, udyana, apana, samana, which perform respectively the 5 functions of inbreathing, changing the energy, excretion, moving, and communication within the body, I am not. Even the mind which thinks, I am not. The nescience, too, which is endowed only with the residual impressions of objects, and in which there are no objects and no functionings, I am not. If I am none of these, then who am I? After negating all of the above mentioned as not this, and not this, and not that, that awareness which alone remains, that I am. What is the nature of awareness? The nature of awareness is existence, consciousness, bliss. When will the realization of the self be gained? When the world, which is what is seen, has been removed. There will be realization of the self which is the seer. Will there not be realization of the self even while the world is there, taken as real? There will not be. Why? The seer and the object seen are like the rope and the snake, just as the knowledge of the rope, which is the substrate, will not arise unless the false knowledge of the illusory serpent goes. So, the realization of the self, which is the substrate, will not be gained until the belief that the world is real is removed. When will the world which is the object seen be removed? When the mind, which is the cause of all cognitions and of all actions, becomes quiescent, the world will disappear. How will the mind be quiescent? By the inquiry, who am I? The thought, who am I, will destroy all other thoughts, and, like the stick used for stirring the burning pyre, it will itself in the end get destroyed. Then there will arise self-realization. How long should inquiry be practiced? As long as there are impressions of objects in the mind. So long the inquiry, who am I, is required. As thoughts arise, they should be destroyed, then and there, in the very place of their origin, through inquiry. If one resorts to contemplation of the self unintermittently until the self is gained, that alone would do. As long as there are enemies within the fortress, they will continue to sally forth. If they are destroyed as they emerge, the fortress will fall into our hands. What is the nature of self? What exists in truth is the self alone. The world, the individual soul, and God are appearances in it. Like silver in mother of pearl, these three appear at the same time and disappear at the same time. The self is that where there is absolutely no I thought. That is called silence. The self itself is the world. The self itself is I. The self itself is God. All is Shiva, the self. What is wisdom insight? Jnana drishti. Remaining quiet is what is called wisdom insight. To remain quiet is to resolve the mind in the self. Telepathy, knowing past, present, and future happenings, and clairvoyance do not constitute wisdom insight. What is the relation between desirelessness and wisdom? Desirelessness is wisdom. The two are not different, they are the same. Desirelessness is refraining from turning the mind towards any object. Wisdom means the appearance of no object. In other words, not seeking what is other than the self is detachment of desirelessness. Not leaving the self is wisdom. What is the difference between inquiry and meditation? Inquiry consists in retaining the mind in the self. Meditation consists in thinking that one's self is Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss. What is release? Inquiring into the nature of one's self that is in bondage and realizing one's true nature is release.